Welcome to All Things Right. I'm your host, Hugh. Today we're going to be talking about the bigger picture. Bigger picture meaning how the larger federal government and politics relates to your local run county and municipal governments, and how it all does tie together. And it's obviously going to be how the microcosm relates to the macrocosm in terms of government, and how you should really be paying attention to a lot of that. And it's mainly the reason as to why I am talking about El Paso in particular, and why El Paso should be on the radar right now, especially with Bozo O'Rourke wanting to run for president of the United States, when excuse me, when he had actually said that he wasn't going to run several times. And I personally have experience with him, and I know someone who has had personal interactions and experience with him as well as other people, because I'm from El Paso, and these people of whom I'm in contact with are also from El Paso. Anyway, what I want to get started with is one of the main subjects of the show at this point in time. It's going to be the sheriff's office in El Paso, and I bring this up, and it's one of the main topics, because it's very important, because the person that is running the organization right now, the sheriff of El Paso, truly needs to be looked at. That person is very nefarious, very dangerous, and a lot of people, not just in El Paso, but a lot of people, in general, are not paying attention to what's going on over there, and it's very, very detrimental, not just to the city, but to the nation. Why? Because you have Fort Bliss. Okay, that's an army base there, amongst other things. That is obviously, El Paso obviously is a border city. It borders Juarez, Mexico, and a lot of things come in and go out, if you know what I mean, through a border city. Very, very scary. A lot of people, and I'm not necessarily just talking about illegal immigrants. I'm talking about people that are scary in terms of terrorists, potential terrorists, come in and go out easily through a border city like El Paso, and a lot more has to be a lot more attention has to be put to a city like that. And the sheriff in particular is important, because he is the highest ranking local law enforcement officer of that county, of the city. He obviously has jurisdiction in the city, so he runs. He's running the show, in essence, when it comes to law enforcement, and it is he that allows any federal agency to go in and conduct any business. So it's very important that we pay attention to this. And the person that I'm talking about, this person is a known pedophile. This person is a homosexual man, which really has nothing to do with anything, the fact that he's homosexual, but the fact that he actually indulges or rather engages in pedophilia with underage boys is the dangerous criminal part of the whole thing, you know. And he hasn't come out. He hasn't come out of the closet publicly. And why hasn't he come out? I don't know. And it really has nothing to do with anything, really. There's plenty of people that are in office that choose not to come out, you know. But, you know, his whole administration, you know, his chief deputy, his there's a position that they actually made that they rather how shall I say it, that they invented, for lack of a better phrase, called the Chief Executive Officer, where this gentleman is an attorney, and that person is not even a law enforcement officer. That person is just an attorney, and that person has been the sheriff's attorney for many years, and that person is also a homosexual. And that person who I am talking about, who is an attorney, also worked for the El Paso Police Department when the sheriff was working for the El Paso Police Department. And that person who I am talking about, who is the Chief Executive Officer for the El Paso County Sheriff's Office right now, okay, was actually let go from the El Paso Police Department many years ago because they had found questionable material on his computer which dealt with pedophilia. Now, it was not dealt with, it was swept under the rug because of his connections to then Chief of Police, who the person now is the Sheriff of El Paso. And I don't say these names because I want you people to do your own research. Don't take my word for it. I want you people to look everything up. That is my whole objective here. Don't take my word for anything. I want you to look it up. I want you to go in there. I want you to do this, because that's what I'm wanting. I am wanting for you people to do your investigating. I'm wanting you people to do your own research. Anyway, so yes, this gentleman who is the sheriff, his whole staff is homosexual. Doesn't matter. But the fact that they are homosexuals that engage in pedophilia, that matters. That's what's scary. That is what's bad. And these are the people that are running a law enforcement agency. And these are the same people who are trying to enforce the laws. Not only that, but they're trying to instill quote-unquote progressive laws, progressive ideology, progressive type of ideas and ways into law enforcement and local government that is actually going to facilitate leniency for these type of crimes. And the reason I bring this up is because right now the Democrats are wanting to lower the voting age to 16. He, the sheriff of El Paso, was involved with many 16-year-olds when he was the chief of police. And so a lot of the Democrats, a lot of the people on the left are wanting to lower the age for a lot of things. The voting age. Justice Ginsburg, for instance, wanted to, a long time ago, wanted to lower the age for consent a long time ago. Now, the sheriff of El Paso, as I mentioned in my last video, he goes across the border and he goes to these establishments. And now these visits that he goes to are actually on video, okay? He goes to these establishments that cater to people, men, that want to have relations with underage boys. Furthermore, the sheriff of El Paso is also involved with known cartel members. Why? Because they too facilitate and provide underage boys, trafficking, human trafficking and so forth for him. They are also cognizant of the fact that he of what he does over across the border. So they know what he does over there. He's made his alliances with these people over there, and if you look back in the recent campaign that happened back in 2016, a lot came to light about his connections with known cartel and drug dealers, as well as he also loves to give these younger underage Hispanic men. He loves to give them methamphetamine and cocaine. That's part of his whole thing. He loves to give them these drugs so that they can, I guess, loosen up, and he can have dirt on them as well, because he loves to use his power as either now sheriff or then chief of police. There's a blog I refer to a lot here on my Twitter page. And I'm not the author of the blog, however, I know the author, and the author has taken up for this great cause. And he's the only person that I know that has the intestinal fortitude to speak up for hundreds of officers that are currently being oppressed by this man, as well as citizens, because the sheriff of El Paso is not only oppressing his own employees, but citizens as well, because this man is a true predator. He will, prey on the innocent. He believe me, as I said, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. I will, in other episodes, be providing facts and instances and stories and so forth. But the whole thing is that you have to truly be aware of what is going on in your local government, because it is stemming truly from the higher government. In other words, from the federal government, because his connections to the federal government and what is going on there in terms of pedophilia and so forth, because it is all coming to light now. It now makes sense, as to why he hasn't been touched, why he was untouchable and has been untouchable for so many years, especially in the higher, ranking positions that he has had for so long. It is very important. It is very important for everyone to understand this and to know this, because he is in charge of the law over in El Paso, and he is also vehemently against the building of the wall in El Paso. Why? It's not just a physical structure, but it also will mean more men, meaning, or rather not men, but more personnel in terms of Border Patrol, increased security, increased scrutiny in terms of the actual security of the border. And at this point in time, they are highly undermanned rather, over in the border in that area. And he likes it that way. He likes it that way because he has control of it. He has control of what is right now a depleted organization. And the fact that building the wall, making it a stronger organization, is something that he does not like, because he has control over what is coming and going across that border. He has control over what is happening over in that area. Okay, it is bigger. It is bigger than what it seems. Believe me, I know. I've been there. I worked for that organization. I understand what is going on. But, as I said before, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Thank you. Until next time.